on in here, but jeez. Okay, so we're going through a test point. We're almost done. How cool is that? I can feel the relief already. I can feel the collective relief of this point, this test point leaving. So in tarot, the devil card is not really about a particular person or a demonic energy in any way. That's a particular, well, just that. The devil card represents person, place, thing, a thought, a trigger, old emotion, something that will come in and tempt you to grab on, magnetize to, and draw more to you of the old reality that you said you didn't prefer, that you left, that you did not want. So you get these tests, and they'll look like the best case scenario in the worst case reality. In other words, man, this is really exciting. I can have this and this and this, right? But is this just survival? Is this settling? Is this like something I wanted in the old reality? Or does this represent who I am now and what timeline I want to emerge? Am I willing to let everything dissolve and go away? So if you're Gen X or you know what an Etch-a-Sketch is, are you willing to shake the Etch-a-Sketch and redraw from the frequency you are now, the preferences you are now, who you are right now? And the devil card in tarot represents that temptation. And it can come in the form of anything. Everything is so surreal now, right? Okay, so more and more of you know that there are aliens, right? There's other beings. Now, lightworkers and starseeds, we've known about the other beings. We've had interactions. We've channeled. We've went and traveled to other dimensions. And we've been working on perfecting ourselves for our whole lives. And the new ones that come in, they don't have to go through all that. I know my ego was so big and bad at one point. I was a little frustrated at that when I first learned it. I don't know, it was my 30s or whatever, in a book I was reading about how that I will spend like 25 years struggling or trying to refine, going through everything in my DNA, all of my ancestry line, all my triggers, all my traumas, and the newbies will be born in without it. They'll be born without karma. They'll be born without having to deal all that because we're already dealing with it and the new consciousness coming in without it. And so, I don't know why I said that because I still got a little bit of a, because they don't. All right, take two. I have had some profound magical experiences in my life. I have traveled different dimensions. I left my body. I've had amazing spiritual things. And I remember I think it was about 2012, looking out at the water here in the Pacific Northwest and just feeling like, yes, this is beautiful, but this isn't what I want. But it's like, what do you want to see? And I started imagining all these supernatural things. And where I live in my mind and in the dimensions when I dream and when I travel is a mixture of intense beauty, greenery and water and beautiful animals and snow-capped mountains with high tech, with perfect temperature, with interdimensional travel, with teleportation and telepathy. And, it's a mixture of these. And when I come back to this reality after, meditating and interdimensional travel and astral travel, it was very frustrating. I'd feel that surrealness. And I live in a Victorian town, and I spent a lot of time downtown. And at night, it's this whole other magic. It's this whole other reality and dimension and supernatural and, witches and ghosts and spirits and the magical ions and the moon. And I'm from Montana, so I'm not used to sailboats. So I call them stars on sticks out there, with just these, I just look at them as like stars over the water, right? They're just the light on the top of the mast. And the moon and the water and the just pure magic. And I seen some pictures tonight that a friend of mine had shared on Facebook. And I was reminded of, again, of where we're at. We're in New Earth, and these images were of a place that never existed before in my mind. I've recently posted some of my past sermons talking about bringing in new ideas. Okay, so visualizing something you've never visualized before, like a penguin in a pink dress riding a green bike. Visualize it. Put words together you've never put together. Imagine tastes, like imagine what a pickle tastes like, or what a rose smells like, and then imagine that pickle in peanut butter, or with a date, or something that you've never, put combinations together in your mind to create new thoughts, new images, new energies. And that's kind of what these pictures did to me. It was I'm gonna say that they were AI generated, but it wasn't like Grok. Grok isn't this sophisticated, so it could have been someone's personal art. It's hard to tell in this reality we're in, but I just love it. And I love the idea of AI art because I write and I have these books and novels in my mind and all these stories, and I'm excited about being able to illustrate them without having to convey to someone else what is in my mind. And this place was, people were riding swans. There was Viking stuff. There was church stuff. There was different kind of beings of different sizes and different water and mountains. And this combination of a place I'd never seen. And I had never, ever imagined these particular combinations of things in a picture, in a place and time. And after I saw those images, I felt comforted and I felt like home. I felt like, not so much the riding of the swans and the swan people in it, but the Viking stuff, sort of, but there was just something about it. And, a reminder of the supernaturalness. And in the town I live, and I've seen spirits. I lived in hotels for 2 years, and it's a very infamous haunted town. And one night, a prior close friend, someone I dated, died. And we weren't on speaking terms. And I found out on Facebook, and it was surreal to me. And I didn't really have anybody to talk to about it. It was something I had to go through on my own. And it was creepy. And I understand death, and I know that death isn't real and that you go on. She's since come to me, and I see where she's at on the other side of the veil, and I, all the things we gather and all the lifetimes, and we have our like mansion on the other side of the veil. I have mine that I go to. It's a topic for another day. But I felt something really sad, and not simply because she died. It was a windstorm, and the top of a tree fell, and it was an instant death, and she was probably my age now, so like 53. Time is weird. It's weird. So anyway, I was in the Palace Hotel in Port Townsend, and room number 1, where there's a little nest. You have like a kitchenette, and you have you right there on the front view, and then you have these stairs that go up to the this little room and the balcony over. And I went up, and I just laid on the bed in a ball, and I just kind of wailed. I just kept crying. And I saw this woman in a light green, pale green Victorian dress and hat come up the stairs. And she sat on the bed, and she just comforted me. And it was so profound. And I just reminded tonight, don't look at anything it's over. The government's a man, the way doctors are, the way corruption is, all these CIA and FBI and all these secrets that are keeping you from cures and keeping you from technology and keeping you from the truth and lying about aliens and lying about cures and lying about interdimensional travel and all those realms that you've seen in all your visions. We're free now to have that and to be that. And this devil energy, as in tarot devil energy, is sending in past people, past ideas, temptations to go, well, do you want to do this? Do you want to play this again? Do you want to give your power away here? Do you want to let this person control you by doing this? Do you want to let this government agency or this, like, they have no power over you in an instant, right? So you think about anything at all, like say local law enforcement at every level and their corruption and how they're pay to play and how they're not going with constitutional law. They're just, and the laws are so long, they're not straightforward. Evidence isn't really used, right? So if AI was deciding the case, you say, okay, well, what's the evidence and what's the law? Did they do it? Did they not? But AI doesn't. The judges have personal opinions. They have political parties. They're jaded and they're corruptible. And then sometimes their families, who knows what happens, right? It judges at every level. So AI wouldn't have that to just judge whether they had it. People go to school to be liars, whatever. Judges are liars, right? Everybody's trained in the law, blah, blah, blah. Then the jury is emotional and opinion-based, just like our stock market. Okay, that's all gone. It's no more of whether the jury has an opinion of whether I'm guilty or not. It's AI. It's a intelligent people and people that aren't politics and aren't jaded. Looking at, okay, well, did this happen? Is there proof this happened? Okay, here's the evidence. And then you're guilty or you're not guilty. Not based on emotions or politics or corruption. And so you're going to be tested on that system, right? The system of money, the system of government, the system of medical, and traditional relationships. Marriage is a structure to handle you. You watch The Last Matrix, it really popped that on that your spouse is your handler. Some of you out there might have a spouse that you're having your best friend, and that's great. But in general, that they come in to go, oh, well, to keep you in society norms so you don't expand out of that into supernatural ways and develop your powers and connect to your God self and create the reality you want, conjure the reality you want. Marriage keeps you in this institution. And it brings in law and money and co-parenting and all of these restrictions to keep you handled, right? And it's all made up, right? You can call it religion made it up, whatever made it up. Partnering with people, falling in love with people, whatever we were programmed to do as humans feels natural and it feels awesome. But a lot of times people do that and then they get the paper and the legal stuff and they get the structure and they're handled. That's kind of like a constant everyday devil energy, like where you're not just spontaneously going to do this or that or wearing this or that or eating this or that or sleeping at this and that because you're handled in the structure of marriage. Okay, so then you have jobs and then you have all these legal things and then you have money and you have taxes. So the financial system opening up to where you're able to create whatever you want to create, whether you do your writing, you do your videos, whatever content you make in the world, or little crafts or anything that you do at all, then that's monetizable. So through blockchain, what you've created, you get back. The resource you put in, you get back. The illusions of money, the way it's been before, is going away. The veil's lifted, the quarantine's lifted. We're now going to be able to interdimensionally travel, interplanetary travel, which is why they're disclosing more and more so that people that don't know still won't freak out when they see other beings. Okay, or when you know that these other beings have been next to us this whole time, they just had a human suit on. I'm probably one of them. You're probably one of them. I've had people look at me and see something different in my face. I've looked at people and I've seen different images. We are living multifaceted, multidimensional life right now. We are living a life like, say, in Atlantis or Mayan culture or different planets. Aspects of us are living different types of lives, quantum, in so many realms at once, and we can tap into that. We were kind of quarantined till we could handle our emotions more, because we couldn't just travel or conjure things up without being able to handle our emotions. And so as we move to this next phase, we're being tested. And I feel like I've passed through the last week another just really big layer of test of going, okay, well, here's some old stuff. How are you going to deal with it this time? And I'm like, well, okay, here's this, here's that. And then I got a little bit of stress. I got a little bit of fear. Got the, different panics, the different things. Then I go, okay, well, then here's a choice point. Here's a choice point. Here's a choice point. And then letting go more and more of, don't try to control the things that I can't control. Don't try to control other people's response to what I do. Whatever comes at me, just do whatever's intuitive and logical based on me and what I intuitively feel. Don't let anyone else influence me. Don't let any sort of relationship at any level of life, whether it be, your personal, someone that you would be a lover with, or someone in banking or housing or health, or, whatever the system is out there, they all work for you. You bring people into your reality or push people out based on your own frequency, your own thoughts, what you focus on, what you create. So if you've drawn something to you, then that's for you to look at. And that's that devil energy to retest you again. Is this what I want? And this whole year, just boom, boom, boom for me, bigger and bigger. And now as we head towards, which I keep saying in the videos, the next changeover as we get to the end of the year of the dragon. And if you're listening to this after the year of the dragon, there'll be phases of different groups of people that will keep going through this, where you refine to go, what do I want? So many people are going through fear right now because of what other people are all telling them is true. But if you look at it logically and you go, well, but what is true? What is true? It's so funny. I was going to do the sage burning and the candle and everything, and I haven't even got to that yet. All right, let's do that. So whatever's being brought into your life, it's about refining your choice point of what you want your life to be. Okay? All right, let's cleanse the room that I'm in. Let's cleanse the room that you're in. Removing any negativity, any low frequency energy. I raise your vibration right now, you. I remove any negativity from your space and from this space. I remove any negative energy between you and me, and between you and anyone, anywhere, and between me and anyone, anywhere. And so it is done. I bring love to you, light to you. I invoke the violet flame, Saint Germain, to dissolve any negative energy between me and you, between you and anyone, between me and anyone, and raise the vibration. We got some crystal friends here with us. Okay. So, my recent test points were absolutely in the same vein as past test points that were huge and all-consuming, and some of them might have taken years. And I moved through them a lot quicker this time. And so that's beautiful. And now I feel like I burst through something, some sort of birthing canal, boom. And I can see the logic. So it's like, chop wood, carry water sort of thing. I'm doing things to remove clutter, to get certain things sorted, taking care of certain documents, moving to this next phase where I know is going to be completely free of the last phase. And the last phase is actually like 1,000 years. So my entire life, everything I might have thought that I wanted my life to be, everything that I carried with me lifetime after lifetime, and everything in every dimension is kind of dissolved and reformed. So the energy that was part of all those is now, like, say it's in this big box or whatever, and now I can reuse it for what I want based on who I am now and not who I ever was at any point in time. And you're going to be tempted by that devil energy. It comes in and it might look like money, it might look like love, it might look like good luck, it might look like bad luck, it might look like anything that's threatening to consume your time, when if you just go, wow, right, I can see into other worlds, I can conjure up anything I want, I am an interdimensional being. There are, aliens in the ocean, there is other dimensions and realms, and I've moved realities, and when I look at it for what I've really experienced, wow, why in the world would I get stuck in some weird relationship with any person or government agency or process when they're nothing to do with me? And if I believe they have something to do with me, and I make that my life and my thought, then that's the timeline I'm going to live on. And that is not the timeline that I want to live on. So I just feel like I've really just kind of let a lot go today. And that I'm not quite to this next phase. There's some things I'm doing. There's some things I got to wrap up. But I can see it. And I've passed through a phase and so much is sloughed off. And then it's just going to kind of keep happening and keep happening. Daily, weekly, every 3 days is what I'm seeing until, the end of January. And then it's a whole other phase of something else will open up to me, which I can't see from this point. And so, yeah. So that's what I see. And I don't feel like getting up, so I'm going to just do this second video like that I was going to do just right after this one, like right now. Okay, well, go ahead. Okay, first of all, let's just wrap that up. If you have handlers in your life, you have anybody that you're trying to please or alter yourself in any way to be their version of you so they feel better about you, or that you can have a place to live or things to eat or, survival or whatever, talk to Spirit. Tell Spirit clearly what you want, what you want help with, what you want help to dissolve. Tell Spirit to show you the intuition and to bring you the inspirations, to bring what you want in your life and state what you want. We're here, we've made it. You don't have to suffer. And don't get into that zone where you're like, I can't see a way. Ask Spirit to show you the way and to make it obvious, to open a door for you, to open up a new living situation, to open up money, to open up miracle healings. Ask Spirit to show you what direction to head with this.